Okay, everything should be good now. I hope it looks nice. I hope it sounds nice. Welcome to the live stream. It's been a while. So I'm kind of shaky because I haven't started one in forever, and I forgot to change a certain setting that I was supposed to change before I started it, and I was changing it just as it started. But everything should be good. Let me know if it's not. I need to get my chat popped up here. Put this on that screen over here. Ooh, is that how my face looks? What's going on? Why does my face look like that? Do you see that? It's hideous, isn't it? I got an idea. I might have it way too bright. This is the problem. Also, this can jump down to 70, and this can be brought down to 80. Ooh, my hair in the back. Do you see that? That's real nice. Okay, so that should make my face look less crazy. Let's make it a wee bit smaller. Okay, it looks good. It's very bright, but I kind of like having it bright. Okay. Do not press X on that 'cause it's going to close the whole freaking stream. This is an activity feed, not the chat, so I popped up the wrong thing. That's fun. Let me go back to my DLive dashboard. That's what I'm talking about where I'm shaky. I haven't streamed in forever, and I wasn't even prepared when I started it. Okie dokie. DLive, you drive me crazy a little bit. Every streaming software ever, though. Why do I have to scroll over to pop up my chat? This is awful. Okay. Now it's not even giving me the option to pop the chat up. Okay, now I'm upset. Streamer is offline. Oh, no, that's not true. Lied. Bruh. Let me pop up my chat, yeah? There we go. Okay. Justin's here saying, Booblet, what's up, Justin? Long time no see. How you doing, man? I'm getting my crap situated here. What's fun is I got to do something very specific for this stream, too. I'm going to map out my Animal Crossing town for reasons I won't explain. But I want to have specifically my trees detailed. I think I'm going to get the flowers as well. Everything else is kind of permanent. Oh, that's not true. The rocks. Oh, God, yeah, my rocks can get destroyed. I think that's something I'm just going to have to deal with. I'm not going to put the rocks on the map because those could move around. But the trees, I actually like where they're at. And I want to keep them all in the same place. And I can control that. The rocks spawn randomly, so I can't really control that. Say, oh, it's just Justin you see. That's the only one who's... Oh, you said your mama? Was that at this stream? I didn't realize that was from this stream, Violet. I thought that was from the last one. That's why I didn't read it. Is because it was the first message, and I wasn't reading my chat yet at that point, and I thought that was from the last stream. Because I can also see patience, LOLOL. I meant like 1 day time within a 7-day span. That way I keep the dailies and all the wood and stone and everything. Like, that's from last live stream, those messages. Okay. So I don't really need to dig up anything or anything like that. We have an objective right now, and I want to stick to it. So I've been imagining myself doing this from the top left of my town. Ooh. I won't worry about the money tree. I need to stay on task to get this done, because it's a pretty big task. Oh, my flowers bloomed. Oh, I'm so happy. Because I put a lot of new flowers up around the town, and I really like the way these red ones look. I didn't expect them to look that nice. Those are nice looking, though. You say, yeah, it was. Hurtful? Sorry. It's nothing about love. Don't listen to Justin. You stuff a sock in your mouth? Oh, my. Okay. So it's going to be tougher than I thought. I can leave the beaches out. I actually need to make sure I have enough space, because I have 6 pieces of graphing paper that I taped together. And that's how I'm going to make this map. And if this isn't big enough, well, then I'm going to have to use some type of electronic way to do it, which could be possible, because I just need a grid and the ability to write in the grid. And I could always divide each one of these little squares. I figured it out, and I have 90 squares across And I actually don't know how many I have the other way. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is 10. Really? That's kind of crappy. This is 100. Oh, so that's... Never mind. That's better than 90. But I could divide each little square by 4, and that would effectively give me 360 squares by 400 squares, which I think I'm going to have to do that, because I'm pretty sure my town is longer than 90 spaces by 100 spaces across, which is how much this graphing paper is. And I think I'm going to need more spaces than that, because, I mean... Let's see. Is this the baseline where I need to start? Is this line that I'm running right here? Okay, so that's even past this, isn't it? It's one more. Just because of this gunk. I could essentially leave that little patch out. Because I don't... The only reason I would be putting that row in would be to show that there's blank space at the top. Because nowhere else is there even grass. Oh, until right here there's some flowers. Well, that's kind of important, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's something I can keep in my mind that I know. I'm going to let these weeds grow because it's supposed to be the crappy part of town. Say it has everything to do with love, what you're talking about, Willis? No, it just has to deal with when I thought the messages got sent, and I was wrong. Okie dokie. So we'll just start with the second row here, and I guess we're going to go up and down all the way across? No, I need to count it out. Yes. Well, it actually is kind of important for me to start all the way at the top, so I know exactly how far down to put this cherry tree in the future, but oh my god, this is going to be a huge pain in the butt. But that's why I dedicated an entire live stream to me doing this. So this cherry tree is the 5th space down, which, oh my god, we're definitely gonna, we're so gonna have more than 100 spaces down to go. I mean, let's just get to counting. The holes won't disappear. 6, 7, 8, 9. So this apple tree is the 10th space down. And then we have 11. Okay, at this point, I need to start digging holes on the other side because there's this weird sand slope and I can't dig holes here, but I need to keep track. So that was 10, this apple tree, and then 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, we get to the roses and there's 16, right? Or is there another space before that? No, the roses are 17. Yeah, the roses are the 17th spot down. Yup. Okay. This will just let me know how many spaces my town is long. I need to know that. Oh god, what did I say about the roses? Were they the 18th spot down or 17th? We gotta go back to that tree. That was the 10th. Alright, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, or 17, and then that spot is 18, 19, 20. Maybe my town will fit in 100 spaces. 21... 22, and then these roses are 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Right here is 28. It's 28. Okay. So 29, 30. Yeah, I think actually we'll have plenty of space. I mean, I'm getting... Oh. It's hard to say. We're not that close yet. And... I just dug... What was this? 28, 29, 30. So, I don't think we're a third of the way down yet. 32, 33. I think this pear tree is 34. Say those are tulips, not roses. I didn't say anything about tulips or roses. I have some roses. These are mostly tulips. I was saying I like these. I think they're called pansies, but I'm not entirely sure, because they might not be pansies. I didn't say anything about tulips or roses! Get me triggered! Hurr! Over here, I had them planted like this. I don't even know if they can make crossbreeds. I didn't look up a guide. I just kind of started messing around with flowers. I figured it'd be more fun. I was lucky that I learned they have to be diagonal in order to make mixtures, but some of them don't even seem to be doing that. Like, is it just a small chance of it to happen? I don't even know, because I had these guys going, and they were watered and everything. And they didn't make any pink. I think these are, what, wind flowers? The wind flowers are kind of nice. I like the wind flowers. I like the pansies. I like roses as well as tulips. But I don't have that many roses. I was trying to make more somewhere, but I don't even remember where that was. Anyways, we're getting off task. This is why I just had to stay focused. Otherwise, this thing's never going to get done, because God, who knows what number I was at. Let's see. This apple tree was 28. I remember that much. 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Does that hold up? I feel like I went too fast. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, I got to 35. So you were just calling the tulips roses? Whatever. The tree was 35, right? No, it was the whole after 35. That was 35, so that's 36. Not gonna let me dig here. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Orange tree makes 50. Gravestone is 51. Spot after the gravestone is 52. Black tulips are 53, 54, 56, 57. We definitely can just use this map the way it is. I might even be better off if I rotate it, to be honest, and have it so 100 is going across the top. Dude, I can't remember numbers for the life of me. I swear to God, where were we just at? I need to, like, watch it back. Say who died. Oh, it was a villager. I didn't like him very much. I seriously don't remember where we're at. And the last number that I can remember was, like, way back here again. This tree being, what was it, 28? That's the furthest I can remember back to. Everything else is, I don't remember whatsoever. 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Oh god. 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50? I think that's right. I stopped at 50, maybe. Because I got to this house and I can't go past, like, in 51. And then that thing here. I'll move it out of the way for now. 52, 53. You think I'm off? So what, you tell me I need to recount? 53, 54. I need just a counter. 55, 56. Okay, whatever, we'll dig them up. 57, 58. But the thing is, it still keeps going further down. But we know it's not going to get all the way to 100. So I think my size of map will be good. Where's my phone at? Say you're good with numbers, but the trees are throwing you off. I'm gonna get an app up on my phone, and we're counting them all the way down from the top, just to try to, like, be sure. It gets kind of hard because the angle starts moving around, and then I'm like, okay, which hole was 47, and then the next one's 48, and I, like, might accidentally skip one. That's where it gets tricky for me. Okay, so I already have a counter app on my phone where you literally just hit a button and it makes it go up or down. I could go from the bottom up, I guess. Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, that's a horrible idea because I don't need to go all the way top. I know for sure that this one was 28. That's the one that I know for sure. So we can just start from here. I got 28. Let's just go all the way up to 28 already because I got that. I know that's. I could double check that after, I suppose, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. So we got 29, 30, 31. The C's 32. Okay. Let's try to get. Okay, so if the seat is 32, oh god. Okay, that's pretty easy to see right there. Okay, so 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. We get to the tree, which is 44. Tombstone 45. Spot after is 46. Black tulips is 47. 48, 49, 50. So far, this is all where I was. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. I mean, that seems right to me. Got 58. And then if I really want to be double sure, I could count back from here and go all the way back up to the top. So if this tree is 28, let me go back down to 28. 58 is what we got total. So I'm going to put 58 on my paper because that's a significant number. That's the length of the first row, essentially. Actually, it's kind of wrong because I ended up off, didn't I? I moved over a bit and ended up just counting straight down. But I ended up moving back, then over again. Yeah, I don't know. But whatever. 58 so I don't forget it. I wrote it down. So let's go back to this pear tree, which is 28. We can count back. Let's get it out of the shot. Okay, so to that apple tree is what, 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that apple tree is 21. Right? We were just... Okay, let me count again. 1, 2, 3... Okay, there's 6 holes. Make that apple tree 22 then. There's only 6 holes. Because you go from pear tree, which is 28, and then you go down 6, which brings you to 22. Yeah. Okay. What happened here? Why are there no... Oh, I was counting the flowers. Okay, that makes sense. So, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Yeah, what in the world? How did I get... Maybe the pear tree is 38. Oh god. Was I at 4 when I got to this apple tree? I think I was at 4 when I got to this apple tree. Every time I have a little side thought, I immediately forget the number. Or where I was counting from. So I have the number is 4. But I think that was when I stopped at this apple tree. That's why I went over and looked. I was like, there's way more than 4 spots left. Because, yeah, wasn't that apple tree... I thought it was initially 10, didn't I? Because this cherry tree was 5. And then the apple tree was 10. Isn't that how this went at first? So how... Bro, what? I'm really good at counting, I swear. I can do this. Okay, so we're starting all the way from the top. And then we can add 30. Once we get to that pear tree that I thought was 38 or 28, we can just add 30 to it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the cherry tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to the apple tree. Okay, so 11 is after 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. This apple tree is 28. Okay, 29. How many do we got here? 29 is the second to last one I just counted. But then there's 4 more holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it makes this pear tree 34. How I thought this pear tree was 28 that one time. I'm just dumb. That was this apple tree back here. This pear tree is 34. So 34 plus 30 is 64. So we have plenty of map. That was determined a long time ago. I made this way more complicated than it needed to be, but that's what I do. Alrighty, so we need to start actually getting to marking things then. I know that I can use each square for one space. I don't have to worry about running out of space. I could try counting across, because the island might be longer than it is. Oops, wrong button. The island might be longer across than it is down. I'm not really sure. I've never looked at the map and tried to compare it that way. It's a square. How many letters is that? A, B, C, D, E, F. That's 6 letters, and then there's 7. Okay, so it's got like 1 extra acre across than it does up and down. But there's also more beach. Oh. No, it's definitely longer across than it is down. So it actually would make sense if I rotated my map this way, which makes it harder to use on my desk, to be honest. I need to like try to figure out how to get more space here. Let's see. Move these things, they'll get me like an extra inch. You know how it is, guys. Always trying to do everything you can to get that extra inch. Alright. This thing that my monitor sits on top of is adhered to my desk because I didn't want it falling off with my monitor on top of it. But it's adhered via duct tape. So I might be able to slide this piece of paper under it, but it's not really working. However, I think I'm just barely at the edge, so this should work. I can do the top row, and then I can just kind of fold it up by the time I get to the bottom. Oh, okay. It's crazy that there's actually more squares across this thing lengthwise than there is down, because it sure don't look like it. But let me just recheck that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Times 5 is 50. Times 2 is 100. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm so stupid. 7 times 5 is 35. 35 times 3 is more than 100. It's like... Isn't it 105 actually? It's 5 more. 35 times 3? That's 105. So it actually is longer the way I originally had it, but only by 5 spaces. Whatever. That works for me. Okay. Back to what we were doing. I'm worried. I'm seriously worried that it's going to be too long across the top, but I think we'll be all right, because I had... How long was it? What I had going before was... Oh, whatever. It was like 64 or something like that, I think. Yeah, it was 64 is what we ended up getting when I measured the length, everything. So I'm pretty sure all the way across we'll still have enough space. It'll be closer to 105 than 64 is, but it shouldn't surpass 105, even without counting it. Okay, so I think I said I was just going to forget about counting this first row. I was just going to shave that off, even though maybe I should add it. This one that literally has nothing but blank spaces and flowers. Screw it. Let's do it. However, I don't know if I'm actually all the way at the top of my island. Because sure, I went all the way up to here where there's beach, but look at all this extra land that's up here. Like, where this... I don't care that much about the palm trees if they move around a little bit. But this space right here, I could... Oh, God. I could go on top of that cliff, and I would be past that space. So really, I need to start my map at the top of the cliff. But that's kind of tricky. Oh, and you might even be able to go further back than this. If you go all the way to the other side... Dear Lord. Oh, I got it. I can't go down from there. My town's a little bit wonky. But it works. And it works good. Just the cliffs. There's not many stairs to get to the cliffs in the back. So, back here, is this further than where you can go on top of the cliffs? Ooh. See, because I'm not that worried about all the paths and stuff back there. Because I can't grow trees there. However, I said I'm making a detailed thing on my map. Maybe I should just include that. I don't need to include the beaches. Actually, being in construction mode would be extremely helpful for this, because I could put a path down and then see exactly where the little dot is on the map and be like, okay, the tree is right in front of that. But I think this is actually the furthest point I can go all the way up. Which is a little bit infuriating because it's completely on the opposite side of where I was. But I can see that it's on par with the very back of the cliff. So if I go all the way to the other side of my map, back to where I was, where I want to start actually physically making marks on my map from, like I want to start there and start mapping it out from the top left corner, and I'm going to move on. I should start... Jump it, you fool. Come on, do it. There you go. I should start from like way back here. Which sounds kind of nuts, but it's going to be necessary. Yeah, I think like pretty much this slope. I can't quite get the angle that I want to be able to tell for sure. But I think right where you see this grass kind of turn into rock right in this corner here, I think that's like the first spot that I should count on my map. Oh god, but how am I supposed to count how many spaces back that is? Well, I can see right there that there is there's three little... What are they called? The path markers. You see the dirt patches right there? So that's 3 spaces down. So I know 1, 2, 3. Until you get to these tulips, which are 4 and 5. And then you get to that weird little curve spot, which is 6. And I think that weird little curve spot's on par with this right here. It's kind of hard to tell with the isometric view. I don't get it quite straight up and down. Let me get up on the cliff and see. When I dig a hole up there to make it a little bit more obvious where things are lined up at, you know? So that was the sixth spot down. So I should start 6 spots down on my map, so I don't run out of space. It was like right here. Oh, is that right? No, that was 5. Oh, my spot might be at 5 actually. It's so hard to tell with the weird isometric view. And it's hard to get it to go up and down. You have to get like a cliff in front of you to make it go up and down. Or maybe if I use my map, or not map, my inventory. It didn't work with my inventory. It works if you're back here and you do that to your inventory. You can see back here. You're like, ooh, let me get a close-up of my little beach. Oh, but it gets blocked out by my inventory. That doesn't work over here. It doesn't give you it a above view like that. So yeah, it's really hard to tell if the hole I dug is at either the 5th spot back or the 6th. Oops, that's only 4, isn't it? Or is that 5? Oh, that's 5. It's so hard to tell, man. Oh, I didn't realize you could do that. I thought you needed a pitfall, which I don't know how to make a pitfall yet. I've never fallen in a pit in this game before. You like how you have the bad part of town, and it's where everyone except you lives? Well, yeah, it's highly populated. So if you try to, like, jump something, you can't jump? How did I fall into that? I guess that's lined up. I think that looks better than what this does. I just don't want to be wrong. I never thought I'd run into this issue. I guess I have a way I could figure it out. If I go up here on my cliff... well, really, figure out where that tree is. What is that going to solve? Because I have to know where the tree is lined up with. I know that hole was the 6th spot. I think the tree's lined up with 7. I'm just going to go for it. Watch, my map's going to be like slightly off and it's going to drive me nuts. We're just going to count that first hole as the 6th spot. That's how this is going to go down. Ooh, these red ones! They're starting to make black tulips right there. So I'm going to have 2 black tulips now. I only have 1. It's down by that grave. But that's a second set of black tulips sprouting right there. I'm excited. Well, it's not really a set. It's the first pair of black tulips that I'm going to have. Okie doke. So if that's the 6th spot, we're going to make my first map. First mark on the map. that would be, I can go 6 down, and it's only 1 over. So that's like right here. It's the first little spot. I don't know. I should indicate it somehow, but I don't know exactly how. Ooh, I'm going to go to the spot above it, actually, and I'm going to make a little slant. And that's going to signify that beach slant there. Okay. This is nuts. I can't believe I'm actually trying to do this. I got 2 sharp pencils. Okay. So how many holes before the tree? Wasn't it like 5? Yeah. Or is it? No, there's 4 holes and then the tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the tree will be right here. What type of tree is it? It's a cherry tree. So it's going to write C for cherry. Okay, and then we go, it was 4 more spaces and then the apple tree, right? Oh, no, it's 5 spaces, isn't it? No, that's only 4. Oh, I just did something and I don't know what. Oh, I filled in the hole? Okay. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4, and then the apple tree is 5. That's making it easy so far. Okay, so those are flowers all the way down here. How far down was that? Go 1. This cherry tree's at 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we're 6 away from the apple tree. Right? By the time we're down here. And then this flower is 7. I kind of want to double check that. I'm doing this in pencil for the sake of if I make a mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Flowers down there at 7. One of these days I'm probably going to end up going back and changing all the F's I write for flower to some type of code for what type of flower they are. Okay. I feel like I should almost be doing the trees in the second row just because I'm like here next to them sometimes and I know. Like, okay, so there's these flowers and then there's a space across, and then there's another space across, and underneath that space is an apple tree, and 2 spaces above that apple tree is a pear tree. This is nuts. Like up here by this apple tree, you go down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1, there's a cherry tree. Basically, I'm marking all my trees and where they are, what type of tree it is and where it is, so that if they ever get chopped down, I can plant them back. That's literally what the point of this is. And there was something I was supposed to do before I started it. I wanted to make sure that I had the equal amount of trees of all types. That for non-native fruit. I wanted to have an equal amount of every single non-native tree because I have a lot of them. That's why this mapping, it's literally going to take like forever. I don't even know if I want to do this all in one day. Because it's not that exciting of a task, and I got to do a lot. Anyways, we're all the way down here at this apple tree is the last thing I marked. So these holes are, let's see, that's... Okay, 5 holes, 5 spots down from that apple tree? Well, the apple tree is 5, so it's only 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the 5 spots down becomes that flower. There's actually multiple flowers there. Okay. So let's just count them out. 5 from the apple tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go down and over. Shoot. I kind of shuffled and lost my space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's flowers starting right here. Okay, and there's how many flowers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm also doing it to the flowers because the flowers could get all jacked up, and I want to remember where my flowers are planted because they're pretty. And I went through a decent amount of trouble the other day going around and figuring out where flowers would be nice in my town and where they wouldn't be. This map will also let me keep track of if, let's say, somebody comes in here and spams a bunch of trees around or spams a bunch of flowers around, I can know which ones to get rid of and which ones to keep. Okay, so from that flower we can go down one more and then over two, and there's that apple tree right there. I also could have done that up by these roses if I go two over this cherry tree. Oh, the top of the roses, that makes sense. I mean, I'm making progress. I can see how this map's going to work. It's just kind of crazy. I almost wish I could color code it. It doesn't look like your typical map because it's just like blank spaces and then some letters. That's all I'm making. I'm not like drawing an actual map. I could add details to make it more of a typical map, but that's not where we're at right now. Okay, so this is where it got difficult because there was so many spaces, I remember. We had 1, 2, and then I think it was 4 more. Wasn't there 6 holes here total? Yeah. 6 holes there total, and then the pear tree. Okay. So from this apple tree, we go down 1, 2. The first hole is actually right next to the apple tree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we go down one more, and it's the pear tree. Right there. Okay. 4 more spaces down, and we're at that chair. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and then there's the chair. And I'm not writing anything for the chair, but... Ooh. Oh, right, the space with these flowers. I wanted to include these. Probably meant to plant these all the way. Oh, no, there's only a spot for 3. Okay, so the chair was right there. And the flowers are 1 spot below the chair, but to the... How many spots to the left? It looks like a lot of spots to the left. Did I include space for that? I think I did. Yeah, let's just dig holes to make this easier for myself. I think it's 2 spaces across because that's how wide the table is. So it doesn't make sense for it to be longer than 2 spaces in between that in the cherry tree or pear tree. Oh, so I did not leave space on this map actually for those flowers. Funny. I just cut those out, didn't I? It seems like there should be space for them. Because I made that slant way up here. Yeah, so there's space for them. What am I thinking? Oh yeah, because I moved over. So wait, how is there space for them though? That makes no sense. Because the pear tree's right there. Unless I put the pear tree in the wrong spot. No, everything's lining up so far the way I have it. Cherry, apple, pear, cherry, and there's nothing else all the way up here until you get to that. Huh. Maybe I should draw all these slopes to make it more obvious to me where the edges are, because I'm feeling like a dumb idiot right now. Oh god, it's just getting more and more. The more details I add, the longer this is going to take. But I need the edges for it to really make sense. So I have that slope, and then these 2 holes, and then it goes wider. So I can go down 2, and then another little slope piece, and yeah, right away I don't have any space right there. And it gets wider than that. Right? Yeah, because that's what ends up happening all the way down here. It ends up 1 wider. So yeah, I did not leave room for those flowers. But that's okay, because those are the only flowers that won't be marked on the map, and it's pretty obvious that flowers can fit there. Also, it's not even necessary by any means. It's just, would be nice to have them on there, but it'd be aight. Okay. I kind of like this idea of doing the edge, though. That seemed kind of smart, and it's not as hard as I initially thought it would be, due to the fact that I have some of these trees marked. So it stays like that. We get to this apple tree, and then the spot. So the spot next to the apple tree is open. Then this becomes a slant right here. So one down and one to the left. It starts coming back in. And it actually goes in again. So it gets quite a bit skinnier right here. And then we go down to, I think that's just one above those flowers. So there's the flowers. Go to the one above those flowers is the slope. And then I don't even know if I should count this as a slope because it's like a rock. Oh, well, you know what? I will, because the rock's on the beach. It doesn't count as grass. Yeah. So underneath the flowers, it slopes back in. Just do it twice. Or just to do it just once. I think it's just once. Yeah. It just slopes in once. And it stays like that until we get to these flowers down here. It slopes back out so that the flowers can fit there. Okay, this is going decently quick, actually. I didn't think I'd be able to get the edges down this fast. And that goes along to the edge of the flowers. I'm actually like drawing a map at this point. And slopes underneath. And then goes all the way until one above that pear tree. And then this pear tree, one above the pear tree, it slopes out so that there's space next to the pear tree. Okay, and this is where I haven't added any more trees or flowers because I got all jacked up about these flowers that are not on the map. I was trying to add them and I can't. So we're just going to forget about them. Even though I could, I guess I could write it next to the squares. Let's see, we could try that out. Okay, so it's the pear and then 1, 2, 3, 4, get to the chair. Okay, one underneath the chair. 2 spaces over, 3 spaces over. We have flowers right here, 3 of them. Okay. So I think it goes down. Let's see. There's 2 spots above the tree, or flowers. Because it needs to be wide enough for the flowers by the time it gets them. So this spot above the flowers comes out at a slope. And so does the spot diagonally from that, because that matches up with how wide it was over by the pear tree. And it goes down around the 3 flowers until it slopes back in. And it goes up 1 and slopes in for more than that. Oh gosh. Okay, yeah, see, this is where I need to have the trees so I can figure this out easier. Okay, so this cherry tree is in between the flowers. Let's see, there's 1 spot between that cherry tree and the flowers, and the cherry tree is 1 spot down, so let's mark that with a C. And then, okay, here's that space where it went straight. Okay, this space, it's already curving back in. So right here, this starts to curve across. Okay, that's looking right. So I've already mapped 50 spaces? I guess so. That's kind of crazy. Oh, it's only 44 because I skipped like the first 6. Okay. So I had that cherry tree, and then I got all the way to this slope. And I think I did that right, unless it went by 3. Let's see. 2, 3. No, by here it was going back up. Okay. So it looks like 2 spaces. And then it gets wider on the 3rd space. And then it stays that wide for 2 spaces. And then it gets skinnier again in the next space. And what is this, 3 spaces right here? 1, 2, 3, yeah, so it's that skinny for 3 spaces before it widens out on the 4th. And then it stays that wide for 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So there's 4 spaces. And it gets skinnier on the 5th. And then it stays like that for 1, 2, oh, how many? Just get rid of this one right here and I can just count how many holes there are. So 4 spaces before it really cuts. Oh wait, this is wild. Okay. Interesting. I could have moved this whole thing more in the middle, and then I'd know for sure when I get to the cliffs that I'll have enough space. I am just amazing at planning ahead. I think I'd be better at that with all the Snaky Bus I've been playing recently. Snaky Bus is fun. It's a fun game. Okay, so 4 spaces down. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why I'm doing this all in pencil, though, if I really make that many mistakes. Well, if I jack up the whole thing, I could just copy it onto some other paper that I'd have to buy another day because I don't have any more paper. Alright, and then this actually cuts around. Craziness. Becomes a jagged square for 2 spaces, and then it slopes out. And then... Oh, it's not letting me dig right there? Strange. I guess because I'm hitting that little tree thing. Okay, but we know that this is going across by 2 spaces again. And then I think it slopes and gets wider by the time it gets here. I don't know. I am kind of lost right now. Let me shove this over and see exactly what I can dig out. Because I would like to map out this bottom part just to have it done. Okay, so I ended at that slope, and then it looks like it goes across at that width for 3 spaces, and then that 4th spot is where it got wider. 1, 2, 3. Oh god. Yeah. No. I think jacked up. So, okay, here's that corner where those 2 holes are. And then, I think I might have been doing this wrong the whole freaking time. No, it's just different down here at the beach than it was up here. That's really what's going on. That's what's got me thinking I'm jacked up the whole thing, is that it is a little bit different down at the beach than it is up here, or is just having it at that different angle is really throwing me off. I don't know. This is the first time I've ever tried to make a map, so wouldn't be surprised if I'm not doing it right. But if those 2 holes right here are jagged like that, then you should be able to be at the next one, which is diagonal, and I drew that as a diagonal. So really it's been off since right there. Because you need to be able to be in that diagonal spot, which it then goes across from there for 3 spaces. But after that, you need to be able to go diagonal again, so it cuts. I think I've been making this wrong. Let me look back and see. Because who knows, maybe because of the angle I was doing it at, I actually did just fine. So let's see, like these flowers. Yeah, I did the flowers, and then the spot above it's the slope. Okay, so yeah, I did just fine. For some reason, when it switched to be horizontal, I started doing it wrong, but luckily I caught it really quickly. Because we have not made it very far horizontally. So 2 spots and then slope, because it's actually 3 spots, and you can end up diagonal here, but it stays sloping that way because you can keep going. Ooh, present. I can't just let a present fly by. I gotta shoot it down. We can look at it later. Oh, I got Nook Miles for that? Is it ×2 or is it like one of them permanent ones? It's just one of the ×2 for the dailies. Ooh, ×5. I could get 1,000 Nook Miles for selling some shells. And I have shells. I don't even have to pick them there. I got some stored in my house. But stay on task. Okay. So this goes down diagonally like this. So there's the 3 spots. And then diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. So this goes, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then it wraps around. Okie doke. We're getting places. Slowly but surely, this map's coming into existence. I've been going at for an hour. And I haven't made that much progress at all, but getting the borders down is pretty important for making the rest of it. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 is those guys, and then 1, 2, 3 is these guys. Do we need to go 4? No. On the third one, we go 4. Okay. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it slopes back in. Looks like it slopes back in by 2. Why isn't he digging here? What is going on? What? I guess you can't dig right in front of their house. Is that what's happening? Well, that kind of throws me off. Okay, it'll be alright. So, we have those 4 spaces, and then we can go diagonal by... We would be able to go diagonal, but I think 2. By, I think, 2. So, 1, 2, wait. Did I do that right? 4 spaces, and then... Okay, yeah, these 2 guys. And from here, it would go flat? God. This is going to be so jacked up, dude. This map's not going to make any sense by the end. I don't think I can dig in front of these houses. I don't think it lets me. I don't know how I'm going to, like... Okay, can you guys stop talking right where I'm trying to do stuff? Hey, guys. Oh. So, I wasn't expecting you to send me some of your handwritten poetry like that, kid. Oh. Wow. I think the guy's name is Pete. I can't remember his name. Phil. It's Phil. Phil sending poetry to Nan. Ooh. You're welcome. So which do you think were the standouts? I guess sweet. How do you pronounce that? Bouche de Nol. Really stuck in my mind. What a sap. My haiku? Who knows how to write haikus? I was hoping that one might stick to your teeth instead. Little dessert joke for you. Okay, I'm not getting their jokes, man. They're way too woke for me. They're way too woke for me. They're making dinner jokes. They're writing haikus. That's some next level characters right there. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't let you dig right in front of their house, which makes this kind of tough. Because I'm using... I guess I could drop items. That'd be one thing I could do instead. That would mark the spots. There's no room to put anything here. You can't drop items in front of houses either. Shoulda known, shoulda known. Well, shucks. Okay. Just have to be careful then. I still feel like I didn't do that spot over here right, but I guess I did. Diagonal, and then after that one you can start going across by, I think it's 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I already have 2. Let's just add 3 and 4, which are those guys that I dug up. And then after that, there's a slant inward. For how long, though? I mean, honestly, I could just... Ooh, I could plant a tree there, maybe. It's probably going to tell me it's too close to the edge. I could try it, though. This goes all the way to the river. It gets a little bit fatter, but, I mean, it doesn't really matter. To be honest with you. could probably try. I wonder if it would let me plant a tree here. Because that'd be another good spot. See, so after it slopes in, it looks like there's 2 spots here before that hole, and the hole would be the 3rd spot. That's after it's sloped in. So 1, 2, 3 is where the hole is. And then it goes 2 more spots before it slopes outward. So 4, 5, 6 spot it slopes outward, and then there's 2 more spots, and then we hit river. So I guess we map out the river too. I mean, why not, right? I want to have a nice map of my town, and that includes the rivers. I mean, it's for the trees, but if I have it cut off, it'll be very obvious where everything is. I want it to be a readable map. So it needs to actually resemble my island. Okay, so here it goes up 1 spot rigidly. And then it cuts diagonally across 2 spots. Then we go up 2 spots. And then it cuts diagonally across, I think that's just 1 spot. And then it goes up a lot of spots right there. I don't know how many that is. Let's get to digging, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And actually right next to 6 is a flower. And then it's our bridge. Long Boy Bridge. Love the bridges in my town. They look nice. I went through a lot of trouble. And I'm kind of upset because I learned you can make diagonal bridges, and I didn't think that existed. I thought they had to be up and down. And I kind of want a diagonal bridge. Okay, so right here we got the flowers. Then we go around this bridge. Which is... okay, 4 spaces and then more flowers. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right next to 5 is the flowers. And right above that, it slopes inward. Goes up, I think that's 3 spaces right here. Yeah, it goes up 3 spaces before it slopes inward for a long time. Oh god. Okay, no, it's actually kind of an odd shape here. What? Okay. I think it slopes by 2, and then it's flat for 1, and then we get to a long slope. So let's follow it up to this point. Oh god, these aren't completely lined up. Okay, how many spots away from the edge are we? 7. Let's go 7 spots away. Because it starts to slope after those 7. That's what I figured, right? I guess I should probably put this pear tree here for making it obvious. So the pear tree would be right here. Map this orange tree too. The orange tree is 2 over and 1 up from the pear tree. Okay. This is gonna take ages. I'm enjoying it though. Like, oddly. This is just one of those simple Animal Crossing things where I'm like, I'm happy that I'm spending my time doing this for no explainable reason. I think I need to sharpen my pencil, though. Where's my pencil sharpener? Let's sharpen that bad boy. So I've been thinking about streaming on Facebook because I haven't tried doing that. I've heard it's toxic, but I heard that from somebody who's very different than me. So maybe I wouldn't have a similar experience. But I haven't really heard much of anything about it, to be honest. I just think maybe I should try it. But maybe it's a stupid idea. I want to get that balloon so bad. You just hear it going by, and as much as I want to stay on task, I can't ignore balloons. Get it. I really want to cause a glitch on my island where there's a cliff that you can't climb up and there's a present up there, so you can't destroy it either. Okay. So it's slanted like that, and then it's flat for one spot, and then we go back to slanting for a really long time. Is something that I'm gonna have to, oops, trying to dig a hole here. Not shoot my dang thingamajig. Okay, so that hole I just dug is right next to the flat spot. Can I dig up from here? Oops. That's not where I meant to dig, because we can be above that, actually. So that's not helpful by any means, but we can stand next to it and dig there. I'm trying to figure out how long this diagonal is. Okay, this will make it easy. We can just dig a hole, stand next to the hole, dig a hole, stand next to the hole. All the way to these flowers. Okay. So however many holes there are diagonally here, let's see, let's get rid of that because that's misleading. Because we already have that spot marked, or what? How is that misleading? Oh, it's misleading because it's lined up with the flat spot. So yeah, it doesn't actually need to be counted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We go slanting for 6 spots before we get to these flowers, which is also at a slant. So we actually need to slant 7 spaces? I don't think that's right. But I could dig another one and they'd be right where these flowers are. So yeah, we need to slant 7 spaces. But then it cuts up. But it cuts up after that 7th hole. I'm confusing myself, if you can't tell. I've officially confused myself. Okay, let's just do 6. I think it's 6 and then it starts going up, because these flowers are right next to where it goes up. I guess I could try to mark out some trees to make it a little bit more obvious for me. See, I have this orange tree. 2 spots over is that hole. 4 spots over is this next hole. So we go 5 spots over and 1 spot up, and there's another orange tree. So 5 spots over and 1 spot up, there's another orange tree. Okay, from that orange tree, you go 1 spot up and 2 spots over, and there's a cherry tree. 1 spot up and 2 spots over, there's a cherry tree. Okay. I think a similar pattern kind of plays out here. Oh no, this is two spots up, 2 spots over. There's an orange tree from the cherry tree. Orange. Okay. And then from here, you can go 3 spots up. 3 spots up, 2 spots over is a pear tree from that orange tree. So 1, 2, 3 spots up. Wait, did I do that right? Yeah. There's only 2 spots in between. It's 3 spots up. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2. There's a pear tree. And that pear tree is 1, 2, 3, 4 spots over and 1 spot down from the flowers. So we go from the pear tree, and we go 1 spot up, and what was I say? 4 spots over? 1, 2, oh, it's 5 spots over. Yeah, 5, right? Oh, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess. So 1 spot up, and then 1, 2, 1 spot up, 1 spot. Right here is the flowers. Okay, and the flowers, they're at such a crazy spot. It's so hard to map that. It's like not lining up with what I have at all. But I think it's above the flowers, it starts to go up, and right next to the flowers, it's curved, and it goes curved like that all the way down to this weird. Okay, let's see. Do these line up? They don't line up. What did I do wrong? Bruh. This map is gonna be terrible. I can't even get that right? What did I do? Did I not put the flowers far enough over? Let's see, pear tree. Unless I counted these trees wrong somewhere. But I thought I was being pretty good about that. One spot up from the pear tree. And then one spot over is that bare spot next to the rock. Another spot's right next to the rock. Okay, so that seems right. So something's wrong with what I mapped out here then? This slope went all the way down here. Is this... I don't like this. Maybe this went up one higher than I mapped it or something? No, this is only 3 spots. And I went up 3, and then I started sloping. I think this is where I might have jacked up. No, because it stays sloped. 3 spots, then starts to slope. There's only sloped 1. No. What? Okay, so there's that. We go diagonal, we end up here. That's that hole I'm standing right in front of. And then, oh, I think this is where I jacked up. We can't go up from there. We need to go over. You know, that seems alright. Something's wrong. No. No, it's fine. There's that. And then the 2 spots, because there's the slopes, and from there you can start going diagonal by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what happens with these flowers? I did the trees wrong. I had to have done the trees wrong. This is like ended up taking way longer because I can't even keep my own crap straight. But how? From the pear tree, you go up 1, and then there's a space, and then there's an orange tree. And then from there, oh, is this where I jacked up right away? Where's this orange tree lined up with? Okay, no, that's fine. So that's lined up there. It's 1 above, so you go up 1, and then, okay, over 1, you're in that blank space. Another 1, there's a hole. Over 1, there's a second hole. Over 1, you're standing in this blank spot, and then there's that orange tree, so that's correct. And then you get up to this cherry tree, you go up 1, you're standing, you got my pencil on my map, this spot. It's on the spot where I'm standing, my character's standing, and then there's the hole, and then there's the cherry tree. Okay, that's correct. From the cherry tree, you go up 1, and there's the spot where my character's standing. You go up another 1, and there's a hole, and then you go over 1. This is where I messed up. I went over 2, and then I put the orange tree. Yup, that's what's got me all jacked up, is this stupid little mistake right here. So, up 1 from the cherry tree is where I'm standing, and then a hole, and then it's a, what is that? Is that another orange tree? Okay, so I put the orange tree too far to the left, and that's what messed my whole thing up. Put the pear tree here, and then now the flower moves over and lines up with where I needed it to be, and it starts making sense. I messed up somewhere, and at least I found it. Pain in my butt, man. I can't believe I'm doing this. But, I don't know. It's pretty typical of me to do unnecessary, huge pain in the butt tasks. But it's because I plan on opening my town up to, like, anybody. And I want to have my town... I want to have, like, a detailed blueprint of my town So when things get totally jacked up, which is like inevitable, if there's anything I learned playing Minecraft, is that randoms are going to come in and jack everything you made up. And I just want to be prepared for that, basically. So I got those flowers, and after that, I'm pretty sure the bridges are 4 spaces across, like in length. Because there's that, and then there's the 2 spots, and then there's another one, which makes it 4. So yeah, we go up by 4, and then there's more flowers. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 5th up, the 5th spot up, there's more flowers. And then it goes 1, 2, what is this, 4 spaces before it starts sloping again. Yep, 4 spaces above those flowers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it starts getting fatter. But at what type of a rate? Or how long is what I meant. How long does it get fatter? Okay, that's 4 spaces. You gotta have room for the flowers. So right here is that last hole is right here, and then I need space for another hole above it, which means it starts sloping right here. It slopes for 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes for 5 because then there's the flowers. It goes up by 2. The flowers here. See, this is tough as nails, man. Can't keep up with this. Okay, so we have this flower. We go up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're right here at this hole. And then it starts to get fatter. I just think I drew this slope too long. 5 spaces? Is that correct? I mean, there's this other spot here. This is where I get jacked up, man. It's tough. So, okay, let's go 5. Let's make this easy on myself. From these flowers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get here, and then we go across 4 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that right there is where the flowers are. And from the flowers, yeah, I made it go diagonal. 1 too many. Making it way harder on myself than I need to. Okay, and then we have the bridge. And the bridge is 4 spots across. So we need to cut across 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then we go diagonal for, it looks like 2 spaces only. That doesn't really help us with anything, does it? It kind of does. Okay, is it diagonal for 3 spaces then? Because the bridge is 1, 2, 3, 4. So after the 4 spaces that make up the bridge, it got wider. So right there is that spot, which means right here is that spot, which means we need room here, here, and here. So I think I need to slope it like this, go up like that, and then what's happening up here? Can another hole fit right there? Okay, so that's kind of crazy. So go like this, we go like that. It actually cuts in a jagged manner right there, where that last hole I marked is. And then, okay. So let's see that hole that kind of has a jagged edge. And then there's the spot next to it. Because it starts going up there, but you can't go right where it's sloped. You have to put it underneath. Is that one? These are flowers right here. Two flowers. So that actually goes flat right where the flowers are. I'm gonna have to do this over the course like multiple streams. I swear it's only been an hour and 15 minutes, but I've done how much of my island? And not even. I've gone around the edge of. Oh god, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. I've gotten some of the flowers and trees, but I have gone around. God, I'm pressing all the wrong things. I've gone around. It's not even like a third of my island. Oh god, doing that mainland's gonna be awful. Oh jeez. But I don't know. I'm gonna be really happy to have this blueprint of my town. I really want it to be like completely correct. Okay, so after the flowers, it starts to slope up again. So we have a spot next to the flowers. And then we need room for these spaces. Okay, so next to the flowers, again, we can go. So that means it starts to slope up there. And it stays diagonal like that for another space. There's that, there's that, there's that. And then it goes up. And then it goes over. Okay, so here's where it went over, and then it goes up for how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 5 and 6. Okay, so then we go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we hit cliff. Interesting. So we can start mapping out the cliff too, I guess. I want to make sure this all ends up lining up. So this front face of the cliff here is only the 2 spaces long, right? Yeah, it's 2 spaces long on the front face of the cliff. And then it goes diagonal. These don't match up by the end. Woo. Not gonna be a fun time. Okay, so yep, that makes sense. So went diagonal for the 2 spaces. Because you had the 2 spots right behind this pear tree, which I guess I'll mark the pear tree. The 2 spots right behind the pear tree, and another spot over, and then slanted. Uh oh. Yeah, I got something wrong here. Because that cherry tree is 1 spot too many over. I got that cherry tree marked as not that far over. So I'm talking about where I did something wrong here. But what did I do wrong? It obviously was something wide. Maybe it's one of these slopes. Hopefully it's right here. Hopefully this slope isn't only 2 spots over. Hopefully it's 3. So, okay. Where I'm standing is this spot right here behind this pear tree. And then we have 1, 2 holes here. And then right next to that spot's supposed to be the cherry tree. But it ain't. I am 1 too high and 1 too far to the right for that to be the cherry tree. But that's where the cherry tree is supposed to be, according to my map. But I've already mapped the cherry tree somewhere else. That lines that up with that apple tree, right? Not you, Flora. Yeah, I'm having a total blast. See you later. Okay, so here we have apple tree, empty space, hole. Where I'm standing, another hole. And that another hole, you go up. 1, 2. And there's the pear tree. I am up. I'm off. However I wrapped around, I ended up 1 too high and 1 too far to the right. It holds up as I go through and try to map this out this way. I should have just stuck with the trees, man. Give me a nice outline for the thing. I'm like, oh, let me do the outline and then go through and try to add the trees. Who thought that was a good idea? Me? I'm an idiot. I'm so afraid I'm gonna have to erase like half of this, dude. I mean, I could just like move it over, but I need to figure out where I need to figure out where I messed up at, and it's like I so don't want to go back and backtrack all this. Oh my god. I wonder if it would be, and it's not gonna be obvious even if I look at my map. It's not gonna help make it that obvious. Like, let me try to look at the shapes. Where did I mess up at? Where did I mess up at? I don't think I'm gonna be able to easily tell. One, two, three, four. Yeah, 4 spots for the bridge. I mean, the shape of it is like perfect. But somewhere, obviously, it's off. And I just wish I knew where. Let's see, how long is this? 5 spots across? Yeah, it's pretty long on the map there. Because that next one's only 4, and it's a little bit shorter. It's about bridge length. And that holds up, and then the next one is the next one. Looks long again. But that brings me the wrong way. That hunches. It's a bad hunch that I just had. Looking at it like this, I can't figure it out. I wouldn't be able to tell you where I jacked up at. It's too far out. Oh, I hope it was somewhere up in this last corner after that last bridge. Let's just go double check from that bridge. Alright, so I have these flowers marked. Now, why did I go up another space here? Because you can go there, but the bridge actually kind of knocks it out. I've been doing that everywhere, though. Because over here where I marked next to the flowers, yeah, I marked them as the edge. That's how I've been doing the bridges. So that makes sense. And it's flowers, and then 3 more spaces. 1, 2, 3. And then you can start having room diagonally from there for how many spaces? Let's see. I would typically put, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I would typically have more flowers here. Okay, that's there. There's that hole. This spot's that next hole. This spot's that next hole. Ooh. Something seems off over here, but it might not be. So that spot is that one. Okay, we have the flowers. That hole. Let's make some gaps. It'd make it a little bit more easy for me if I had like a pattern like this. Okay. So we have the flowers, and then a hole, and then an empty space, and then a hole, and then diagonally we can start going empty space, then a hole, then an empty space, then a hole above that, diagonal. Okay, I think I found out how I ended up too far up, because this doesn't seem right. So this spot right here, it goes diagonally and you can get to the next spot, but then it goes over one. Okay, so this is how I ended up too high, because this is not right here, but we're still too far to the right. So I found out how I ended up too high, but I didn't find how I ended up too far to the right. Okay, so I just need to erase everything that I did here so far from that spot, and we're gonna find another discrepancy somewhere. Unless the discrepancy was after, and that's how I ended up too far to the left. That could be possible. Okay. You can kind of see where I erased. I started erasing, but I can still see remnants. Let's double check the rest of it. Okay. Well, I guess I'd be remapping the rest of it, but no. So what if I remap the rest of it and then I have to find the issue further back down the line, then I have to erase it again and remap it again. So if I just double check it right now, then I don't know. We'll prevent ourselves from that, I suppose. Oh god. Okay, I just need to pretend here. So this spot is there. That spot's there. Then we have room for a diagonal. Diagonally is flower. Then another flower. And room for another spot. We go diagonal for 1, 2, and then we have space to go up. And then there's a diagonal. And from there you can start going up. Maybe I went up too many spaces. No, I already figured that out. That I had gone up just fine. It was that I was too far to the right. So it doesn't look like that mistake happened here. Unless it did? Where am I? Oh no, because that's ended up being the cliff. Unless that's 3 spots on the cliff, and it's only 2. It's only 2 spots on the cliff, and then it starts going diagonal, isn't it? Maybe I should go up on the cliff and try to dig? I can tell from down here that you wouldn't be able to dig 3 spots there. That would be 2 spots, and then you'd be on the diagonal if you try to dig a 3rd hole. So I swear to God I had that right. So we ended up too far to the right due to somewhere else. Crystal found a website that you can use to map your islands. I'm doing it with paper. It's not like it's gonna automatically do it for me. I'm still gonna have to sit here and figure out everything. Unless it does do it automatically for you and I'm just wasting all my time, but I mean, I don't know. Kinda like the idea of having a physical one. Same time, an electric one would serve just as good of a purpose. I don't know. So you're not sure if it does it automatically? Yeah, I don't know how it would, but flower, hole, blank space where I'm standing, hole, blank space, I lost it. Flowers, hole, blank space where I'm standing, hole, blank space where I'm standing. Hole, blank space where I'm standing. Yeah, no, I'm jacked up. I don't know. What is this? Did I not put these trees here? Where's the pear and orange tree that are way down there? Does it just seem weird because that's where that space is on my map? That's this pear and orange tree. The orange tree has 2 spaces above it. And that it does. Orange tree has 2 spaces above it. But this is wrong, isn't it? 2 spaces above it, and then slope keeps coming. What? And then the slope there, and it's flat there. But this doesn't really change much of anything. So there's the orange tree, here's the 2 spots above it, there's that slope, which then it's actually got the 2 extra spots. God dang it. Okay, so we had 2 spots above the orange, and then it goes 2 over before you're forced diagonally, which brings you diagonally behind the pear tree. Yup, precisely. And then we go down. Okay, we're lined up with the pear tree. That hole underneath the pear tree. This spot top left from the flowers, and we're at the flowers. And we go down 4, and we're at the next flowers, and this doesn't make any sense to go at this point because I need to figure out how I ended up too far to the right. Two spots here, diagonal. Doesn't let me dig in front of my neighbors' houses. There's those 2 spots, and then a diagonal. So right now I'm standing above the diagonal, and then there's 1 spot to the left, and 2 holes, and then another spot to the left, and another spot to the left, and then a diagonal, and then 1, 2 holes. How many more spaces? 1, 2 holes. There's a space here, and so I'm standing here, which is 1 spot away. If I stand here, then I should be underneath the diagonal, or above. The diagonal should be underneath me, but it's not on my map. But does that fix that issue that I mentioned? I don't think it does. My map is wrong here, though. So I'm standing here, and the diagonal starts So this hole is that spot. And the next hole is this spot. Oh, fudge. I'm standing here. Okay. Yes. And that's a hole. And that's a hole. And then all of those are holes. How far back? There's only 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? But then it lines back up. 1, 2, 3, 4. No. I don't know why I'm trying to do this. I'm gonna open up my town, and it's not like anyone's gonna come anyway. It's gonna all be for nothing. It's gonna be like how I made my Minecraft world. Oh, let's make a freaking awesome PvP Minecraft world. Nobody comes to it. Oh. Why did I bother? That's exactly how this is gonna turn into. And then people are gonna show up and be like, oh, your town's all built up? That's no fun. I wanted a town that isn't finished yet so I could help finish it. That's how it's gonna go. This 1, 2, 3. And the fourth would be here, and the diagonals underneath the fourth. Okay, and I move to the next one. And I'm above this hole, just next to the diagonal. And then there's another hole diagonally from that. Is this how I ended up too far to the right? Because there's only 4 holes here. And I have 4 holes here. So it's not lining up at this point. I think I found where I messed it up at. Because it's all fine until I get here. It's wrong, and it makes me 1 too far to the right. So yep, I guess I found where I messed it up at, which is good. Also a huge pain in the butt to erase, because now I have to move everything over 1 spot to the left, which kind of blows chunks. It'd be easiest to go 1 bit at a time so I don't have to remap this entire freaking town. I can just copy what I already made because it was all correct until I got to where I'm standing right now. Just need to move everything over. It's almost like a shadow of itself. And then over. Okay. Right here it's gonna bump into itself, but just briefly. And this goes up. Ooh, trying to use some old dry eraser on this. Oh, thank you. I think there was evidence that I had something wrong early on and I didn't catch it. Goodness gracious, though. I can't believe I'm going through this trouble. Okay. It goes across like that. And up. Okay, here it's going to stop getting less easy. Because things are lined up right. They're just too far to the right. Okay, so I could start up here. Okay. And then slope this down. 2 slopes. Okay. So I need to erase some of this. I wish I had like another camera so you guys could see my map that I'm making at the same time, but my live streams aren't that fancy. They're pretty fancy as far as streams go, but they're not as fancy as what would make it even cooler. I'm just one guy. Okay. Oh shoot, I don't think I was supposed to be copying all this. I'm gonna have to remap some of this just manually, because I don't know, the part where it was too high up and too far to the right is like all sorts of jacked up. I'm literally just gonna erase all that. Okay, so here we're at where we're just too far to the right, which means this spot needs to be here, which means this slope is right here. That goes down for a while. Oh, how many? Oh, it was just 2. We're not going okay. And then it goes flat here. It actually lines up there for a moment. When it cuts at that bridge. Oh, light just go out? I swear to God, I just saw light like flicker. It seemed to get dimmer in here all of a sudden, like a light bulb just went out a second ago. Okie dokie. Remark the flower before I erase the evidence that it's even there. Those aren't erase marks, that's just intentional shimmer I added to mark that there's a river there on the map. That's what that is. Okay, so some these trees are wrong too. I need to get rid of all the trees that I marked. Okay. This flower needs to move over. I guess really I could have just moved all the trees over, but I'll just redo them. Okay. Now we need to go back up to the top corner. Remap this crap because it was so jacked up in the top corner. I just figured it'd be easier just to remap it than to friggin' sit there and try to do all this again. Okay, so we got here. There's the bridge. There's a slope next to the bridge. There's that weird little spot where it goes up a bit, and there's a hole. There's a slope above that hole. And a spot diagonal from that hole that has that rigid edge. And from there it goes diagonal for looks like 3 spots until flowers, really. So there's that weird ledge, hole next to it, another hole diagonal from there, flowers diagonal from there, FF, double flowers. Okay, connect that. Okay, diagonal starts coming from those flowers, and we go, there's a hole there. hole next to it, a hole next to it, a hole above that, so it goes like this. Okay, there's that diagonal. And another diagonal. And then it goes up for 6 spaces. After that last diagonal, it goes up for 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Till we hit the cliff where it's a straight cut of 2, and it starts going diagonal, and okay, I am standing next to the diagonal. I'm below it. I'm standing below where it goes diagonal. Diagonal for me is that hole. Diagonal for me is that other hole, which is right next to that cherry tree. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay. So, how does this go? I'm standing here. That hole is here with a slope above it. And that next hole is here with nothing above it because it went straight. And then there's another diagonal. And then there's just this skinny part back here, right after that last diagonal. Yup, and those connect. Comes that little cliff. Oh my god. So I got this bottom left part of my town. I got it on my map. I don't have everything marked that's there, but hooray, we have less than a third of this done. You see it? You see that outline? Oh yeah. We're quite the cartographer, you could say. That's that part of my island. This is exhausting. Hour and 50 minutes in. That's how much I've got done. Oh my lord. Learn some lessons, though. Don't do the edges before you do the freaking trees and stuff. And then the trees and stuff can be your guide for if you're doing the edges right. It's more obvious to tell where the trees are than where all the edges are, I think. Alright. So let's get to marking some trees, shall we? Okay, so over here in this corner, I got myself this pear tree. Mark that pear tree. That's a nice pear tree. Ooh, I went way to the wrong corner. I marked it over by that bridge. The pear tree is over here. In this corner. Okay, that looks good. I need to get the rest of this cliff too, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'll worry about that later. Alright, so all the way over here we got this cherry tree. How much space between this cherry tree and this orange tree here? We just got to go 1 over, and was that 2 down? Cherry tree 1 over, and then 1, 2 down. That'd be an orange tree. Okay, so only 1 down and 1 over from this orange tree is a pear tree. Yeah, that holds up. Okay, and we go next to that. There's an apple tree. 1 spot between that apple tree and another apple tree. Close proximity. Okay. I don't have anything marked until a cherry tree from there. Which seems like that cherry tree is not marked on the right spot on my map, but it probably is. I have it marked as 1, 2... Okay, yeah, 5 spaces underneath that apple tree. That's correct. That's gotta be it. I thought it was only 4 I had it marked as. Okay, so that's 1 space, 2 spaces, 3 spaces in between these apple trees is a orange tree. 1, 2... Wait. Okay, so... Okay, so empty space between the apple trees, hole, me standing here, then an orange tree. Okay, and then 1 spot underneath the orange tree where I'm standing, and then a hole next to the cherry tree. Yeah, that holds up. Okay. So from this cherry tree, there's a hole. That's where I'm standing. There's another hole. Then there's a cherry tree. Okay, and from that cherry tree, there's where I'm standing. There's a hole. There's an apple tree. Boom. Let's just do a accuracy test for these flowers. Okay, hole, spot where I'm standing. Okay, so apple tree, then a hole, then the spot where I'm standing, then another hole, then an empty space, then a hole next to those flowers. It's accurate. I like this. I like this. I'm liking the way this is going. I like marking the trees. Marking the trees is way less stressful. Okay, so I have this pear tree marked. So next to the pear tree is where I'm standing. There's a hole next to me, and above the hole is a cherry tree. Okay. And then I'm standing. There's a hole, then there's an apple tree. Okay, there's a hole, there's an empty space, and then there's a pear tree. Feels like I'm playing Minesweeper. Okay, and this goes all the way up to that cherry and apple tree. Okay, those guys are kind of far out. I'll try to get some trees that are closer. Okay, so here's this pear and this apple tree. Oops. Okay, so there's that pear tree, and then there's an empty space, and then there's a hole, and then there's an empty space, and there's a hole, and above that hole is another pear tree. Okay. And then underneath that hole, underneath the pear tree, there's another hole, then there's a blank space, then there's a cherry tree. These flowers, those aren't going to be there permanently. I don't even know if there can even be black pansies, but that's what I was going to try to make. I don't know if that's a hybrid that exists, though. Okay, so cherry tree, blank space, hole. Above the hole is a pear tree. All right, let's do another accuracy test just because I'm obsessed with doing that at that point, or at this point. Okay, so pear tree, hole, where I'm standing, hole, go down 2 spots and you're at the flower. Alright, just staying accurate. Just want to make sure. Little double checks every single time I get somewhere like that. Okay, so from this pear tree, you're tight. There is, oh no, it's where I'm standing and then a hole and then an orange tree. Okay, pear tree, where I'm standing, then a hole, then an orange tree. Okay, if I stand next to the hole, which is underneath the orange tree, there's then space for me, and then an apple tree. Pretty dense right there. Okay, and from this orange tree, there's a spot for me, spot for a hole. Next to the hole is a cherry tree. Okay. So this cherry tree, there's a spot where I'm standing, there's an empty spot, there's a hole. To the left of that hole is a cherry tree, which is awfully close to an apple tree. Is that correct? What? I must put that C in the wrong spot. Have I been marking these in the wrong spot? What's up with this apple tree? Why is it apple? It's supposed to be big space and then cherry. I think I put something wrong. I did something wrong. Definitely did something wrong here. I think I went the wrong way or something. What did I do? What did I do here? Okay. Pear, cherry, pear. Yeah. I messed up right here. This is where I okay, what's up with this apple tree? Why did I mark this apple tree way to the left of this pear tree? That's not even close to right. So the pear tree is like is this pear tree. And then there's a space. There's a space above it. And then there's a hole next to that. And then there's the apple tree next to that. Okay, and I trust my measurements after that. O, space over, space over, C. So this AOC, apple, orange, cherry that I marked there, that was just in the wrong spot. So pear, apple, orange, cherry. Okay, but I haven't marked that cherry tree yet. That's where I marked, and that's what I realized I was wrong. I was way too close to that apple tree. But this cherry tree is just diagonal from that other one. That's how it works. Literally, like, it's just... I can't see. It keeps erasing this, or making that tree vanish. Bruh. Okay, I need to make this easier on myself. What's going down with these cherry trees here? So am I standing next to this one? I can't see anything over here. It's way too dense. Okay. So I'm standing behind the cherry tree, and then there's a hole. So I'm standing behind the cherry tree, and then there's a hole. And then next to that hole is a blank space, and next to that hole is a cherry. So yeah, they were diagonal from each other, but there's a space in between diagonally. Okay, and then from this apple tree... Okay, so I'm standing behind this apple tree. There's a hole, and then there's a space behind that hole. Next to that space behind the hole is another orange tree. And this is looking correct because I can see this space all here for these pathways that I kind of have in between. And it gets a little skinny right there, but that's okay because you can still see through it just fine. Okay. So I want to mark where some of this bridge is at, because I don't have these flowers marked anymore. These flowers are right here. I need to like figure out a way to make markings for bridges. Just have like a dotted line in the middle. And it'll go across too, but we won't make it go that far across because I don't know how many spaces they are long. I think it's 5 spaces long. I got the long bridges. We'll just start with an indicator that there is a bridge there going across. I haven't figured out exactly how long it is yet. I could probably be in construction mode to help me out with that. Okay, continuing on with these trees. So I have all these ones, even the cherry. Yep, okay. So here I ended at pear, apple. I have those 4 up there, but underneath this cherry tree, or apple tree. Underneath this apple tree, there's space for me, space for a hole, and then a pear tree. So, pear, okay, and then this pear tree, oops. This pear tree, there's space for me, space for a hole. Next to that is an orange tree. Alrighty. Space between the orange tree and the cherry tree. PCA, POC. Okay, that's going fine. Ooh, this time of day is some pretty jazzy music. Okay. So this seems really far down here, but it's probably accurate. Cherry, space, another space where I'm standing, and then underneath where I'm standing is the pear tree. Okay. From the pear tree, a space where I'm standing, and then a hole. So from the pear tree, space where I'm standing, and then a hole. And underneath that hole is the apple tree. Okay, a space next to that apple tree, and next to that is an orange tree. And that's the end for trees here, right? Oh no, it keeps going because of where this is at. Okay, did I mark this orange tree ever? I did not. I never even marked these flowers. However, I did mark where the land is kind of fat here. So the land is kind of fat. Right next to that is an orange tree. That can't be right. Oh, yeah. No. I said it right. I marked it wrong. So the land is fat here, and right next to that is the orange tree. Not next to the diagonal, next to where the land is fat. I marked it next to the diagonal. Okay, and then underneath the orange tree we have a space, another space, and then some flowers. Right next to the flowers is another orange tree. So from this orange tree we have ability to go to the space to the right, space down, and next to that is a pear tree. Okay. We can move on over here. So from this pear tree, we have a space where I'm standing, a hole, an empty space. Next to that empty space, we have an orange tree. I think it's a space between this orange tree and this pear tree. Okay. And then right between those, there's a space. And then an apple tree. Okay. From that apple tree, empty space, space where I'm standing, hole, empty space, apple tree. I guess I should mark the stumps too. More stumps should be popping up in my town with time. So apple tree, space, space where I'm standing. Underneath where I'm standing is a stump. Good to know. The rocks I will not map because those could possibly move around, and I'll be constantly erasing and changing where they're located on my map if I put them on here. I don't want to do that. Okay, that's not exactly what I meant to do, but we'll make it work. Apple tree, space where I'm standing, hole, another hole. Above that hole is an orange tree. Okay, this is kind of a mess around here. Let's see, I think it's 2 spaces. Okay, so orange tree, space where I'm standing, then a hole, then a cherry tree. It's very dense right up here by this cherry tree. Okay, we have a space between that cherry tree and the pear tree, space between that cherry tree and the apple tree. And it goes apple tree, goes down one, over a space, and then an orange tree. From this pear tree, it goes down, what's that, oops, 2, and next to that. Okay, so what am I looking at here? Orange tree, there's the cherry tree, there's the pear tree. From the pear tree, we went down 1, 2. Next to that is the cherry tree. Okay. It looks like that pattern upkeeps for this pear tree. So down 1, 2. Oh, nope, not quite. Okay, so from this cherry tree, down 1, 2. And then next to that hole is the pear tree. Okay, and then a gap between that pear tree and that apple tree. And I've seen how this plays out before. In between those 2 trees, you go over one and up. Okay, yada yada. These 2 trees are kind of separate from the rest, so these are actually kind of tricky. And I don't have all the flowers marked still. Okay, so these flowers are right. They're right before the diagonal, because there's 4 spaces in between them, which is the bridge. Let me mark the bridge. Okay, so flowers, flowers, the spot diagonal from them. Let me get rid of one of these holes to make this easier on myself. Flowers, spot diagonal from them, empty spot, hole. Next to the hole is a pear tree. Okay, and then you go back 1, 2, and up 1, and that's the orange tree. We gotta shoot that present down. I just can't sit here and let it fly by. Okay. Something seems wrong here. Oh no, nope. The orange tree is one above that pear. Okay, so that's all good. It's all good. Okay, let's go back over here. Looks like between this pear and cherry tree, there's 1 space, and then above that space is... Shoot, how's this working? Okay, the pear tree is lined up with that line. Okay, here we go. I just got kind of jacked up there because there was a gap on my paper. Okay, so now I have this orange tree marked. Which we know the way this works with this orange tree is you can go up one and then over one. Next to that spot it was a cherry tree right there, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Man, it is dense here. So it goes cherry tree, gap, pear tree, gap, apple tree, gap, apple tree. Underneath that apple tree goes gap, orange tree. Okay, and then between this pear and cherry tree, there's that empty space, and then there's this orange tree right here. Okay, these two are kind of standalone. I have never really noticed that. It's kind of strange. Okay, so over by these apple trees, there's the space in between them. Okay. So over at these apple trees, there's a space between them, then there's a hole, then there's the space where I'm standing, then there's a hole, and then above that hole is the orange tree. Go over two and up one from that orange tree. There's a pear tree, and that is that. We have all those marked. The rest of this down here is just stuff that can't really be moved or stuff I don't care if it does get moved. Like I got some trash that you can pick up and some weeds that you can pick. But other than that, there's nothing that I haven't mapped in this little corner that can be budged. Except for some flowers that aren't there permanently anyway. Alright. I like that. I officially have a blueprint for this part of my town. And it only took 2 hours! Yeah! I'll be quicker at it in the future, I think. With other parts. I don't know, like, I think I should keep going. I'm glad I didn't bite off more than I could chew right off the bat, though. I was just like, let me just start with this one section, and then we can move on to the rest. Oh, dear God, though. So it doesn't include the beach, because I don't need to map out my beach. Because people, if my coconut trees get moved around a little bit, I don't care that much about my coconut trees. I don't care about the coconut trees the way I care about these fruit trees. These non-native fruit trees. Whew, I'm just excited for myself. The fact that I went through all this trouble and I actually, like, got that done. Problem is, like, I want to start and do more, but I don't even know where to start now. It's tricky. It's tricky, man. I guess I could start with this bridge. I could map, I think it's 5 spaces, but let's bust out the island designer. And I'm just gonna dig all the way along next to this bridge to figure out exactly how long it is. But to do that, we have to get the waterscaping permit out. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be 5 spaces. Oh, what? Okay, let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and that makes it 5 right there, right? Is it 6? Does it end up being 6? 6? So this is why I think I should just do it with a shovel. Yeah, that counts. I mean, that's 6. It's not like I can continue digging a hole there. The bridge is taking up that spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, is it 7? Holy crap, it's 7 spaces long? That's how long the bridge is? Okay. But I already have it on my map that it's taking up 1, so going across the water, it's 2 spaces on land, 5 spaces on water, 1 space of land on each side. So there's the space of land, and that's marked because I chopped it in half to add dashed lines through marking the bridge. Okay, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 would be where the land is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is the land on the other side. Okay, I need to get out my waterscaping permit again. Oh, I already have it out, don't I? No, I don't. I'm just holding a typical shovel. We need to make this not hideous, and I probably need to get rid of all these holes first, so let me get this shovel back out. I'm like not ready to map more of this. I'm scared. I'm scared. Like I'm proud of what I've got done so far, but there's so much more to do. That's what this stream was supposed to be, though. I don't know. I was hoping I'd be talking to people while doing it, but I don't know why I expect that to happen with my live streams anymore. It's a joke. That's why I want to try live streaming on Facebook, maybe. It's like maybe people will actually come and see it. I don't know. I just want people to hang out with my live streams. It's not really a thing that happens anymore. I don't know. I guess I made so many blunders at this point that it's just people don't even watch them. Switching around platforms all the time and switching around games that I'm playing all the time. And going on unannounced hiatuses all the time. It just completely annihilated my chances of having people watch my streams and hang out with me while I play games. Okay, so I think this... Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I think I had everything right except for... Ooh, that looks kind of nice. Oh no, it's way too skinny. Okay, so I need to chip this down some. Just, come on. There you go. Okay, yeah, that's the way I had it, and that looks pretty nice. If I would have known that I could make diagonal bridges, there'd actually be a diagonal bridge here instead of the way this is laid out, but I don't feel like messing with that again. I don't know if you can make long diagonal bridges. Maybe you can only make short diagonal bridges. I like my long bridges. Okay. So we know that all up in this bridge is going to be flat land because it has to be. Bridge continues up into the land, comes across like so. That's our beautiful bridge on our map. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces long. Perfect. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, that's not a shovel. I just need to have a regular shovel out. We can put away our island designer permit. So it's 4 spaces long like that. Come on, jump it, you chump. I know you can. Whatever. Just trying to figure out how to map that weird little corner I have there. I think that's that half space. Yeah, so it's that weird little half space that's jutting out next to the bridge. That actually comes down? The game let me build the bridge like that? That's crazy. Yeah, let me do it on the other side that close too, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. And then it sloped for 2 spaces. 1, 2... And then it's flat for 1 space. And then it's sloped for 1 space. And then it's flat. And then there's that gap there where it kind of doubles as the cliff ledge. And then it comes back up for a moment at an angle. And then flat. And then back down sharp into what is cliff. Okay, and I'll have to go along the top of the cliff there and map out the rest of that. But actually, it's kind of interesting. It goes out at an angle over here. So there's a weird little half spot. I already mapped the cliff wrong. There's like a spot and a half over here due to the angle the cliff comes up at. Neat. Okay. It's interesting seeing my river getting formed between the two different islands that I'm mapping out. The river is starting to be clear between it. It's just interesting seeing it happen because I'm looking at it like, wait, when did I draw the river there? And I'm like, oh, I didn't draw the river there. I just drew two islands. Now the river's the space between the two islands. I don't know. I think I'm going to continue the rest of this stream somewhere else and see if anybody else even shows up. I want to stream on DLive and all. I like the way DLive works, but I mean, if nobody's here, what's the point of doing the stream, you know? I should go try it somewhere else. I was going to try out streaming on Facebook, just streaming straight from my Bleeding Bullet Facebook fan page. And I was going to see how that goes. Probably just like this. Me sitting here talking to myself because I'm doing something boring to watch and nobody cares. I don't know. I'm gonna try it out though. So I don't know. See you later, I guess. I'm gonna go stream somewhere else, try to see if anybody will watch me. Probably not though.